From the outside, they are imposing fortresses, symbols of power and war. You see the stone battlements and the towering keeps, and you think you know their story, a history written by soldiers and kings. But what if their greatest secret isn't in their towers, but deep beneath the ground? For centuries, many of these castles have been guarding a different kind of treasure, a liquid treasure that flows in the veins of this very landscape. Today, we're going to unlock Spain's ancient wine fortresses and uncork a history that's been waiting for you. Our journey begins not with a single place, but with a simple problem. Winemaking is ancient in this land, but medieval Spain was a turbulent place. Constant conflict meant survival depended on strong defences. So, communities retreated to hilltops and built formidable walls. Inside these walls, life went on, and a vital part of that life was wine. It was sustenance, currency, and a cornerstone of the culture. But good wine needs one thing Spain's sun-drenched plains couldn't always offer: a constant cool temperature. The solution was ingenious, and it was right under their feet. They began to dig, not just small cellars, but vast, subterranean networks. This wasn't for secrecy. It was a masterful feat of engineering, born from necessity. The earth itself became the perfect guardian, providing the cool, dark, and quiet that wine needs to thrive. These weren't just storage rooms. They were the beating heart of a town's economy, a hidden world built to create the perfect bottle. There's no better place to see this than La Guardia, in the heart of the Rioja Alavesa region. From a distance, it's the quintessential fortress town, perched on a hill. Its medieval walls almost perfectly intact. Cars aren't allowed inside, partly to preserve the atmosphere, but mostly for a practical reason. The ground isn't stable enough, because beneath these charming cobblestone streets lies a staggering secret: an underground network of around 300 family wine cellars, or calados. Dug out centuries ago, their main function was always the making and storing of wine. The consistent temperature and humidity, hovering around 14 degrees Celsius, created the perfect conditions. Of course, during a siege, they also made for a pretty good hiding spot. Almost every house has its own cellar, a direct link to the families who made their living here for generations. Descending into one feels like stepping back in time. The air grows cool, filled with the scent of damp earth and aging oak. In some, you can still see the old stone vats where grapes were once trodden by foot. Many of these cellars are still in use today, making La Guardia a living museum of wine, with an unbroken line to its medieval past. Next, we head to another of Spain's great wine regions, Ribera del Duero, and the town of Aranda de Duero. If La Guardia is a town with cellars, Aranda is a town built on an underground city of wine. Here, the subterranean world is even more ambitious. Beneath the bustling town centre lies a labyrinth of tunnels and bodegas, excavated between the 12th and 18th centuries. Estimates claim the network stretches for around 7 kilometres, or nearly 5 miles, dug as deep as 12 metres into the earth. This depth was crucial for maintaining that constant cool temperature year-round. This wasn't a haphazard collection of caves. It was planned infrastructure. A key feature you can still see on the streets above are the zacaras, or ventilation chimneys. These stone structures look like small, ornate wells, but they are actually the lungs of the cellars below, allowing carbon dioxide from fermentation to escape safely. It shows just how integrated winemaking was into the very fabric of the town's design. Today, many of these cellars are maintained by peñas, local social clubs that act as modern guardians of this incredible heritage, using the ancient spaces for gatherings and celebrations. Perhaps the most powerful symbol of this link between fortresses and wine is the castle of Peñafiel. Shaped like a great stone ship sailing over a sea of vineyards, this fortress has stood watch since the 10th century, though the grand structure you see today was largely rebuilt in the 14th and 15th centuries. For hundreds of years, it was a place of soldiers and royal intrigue, but today its purpose has been reborn. In the late 1990s, this incredible medieval castle became home to the Provincial Wine Museum. Instead of weapons and armour, its stone halls now display the tools and tell the stories of winemaking. The transformation is profound. The fortress that once protected the land now protects its most famous legacy, its wine. Walking through the museum, You journey through the history of the region's viticulture. The South Courtyard now houses exhibitions and a tasting room where you can sample the very wines the castle overlooks. Peñafiel Castle is the ultimate expression of our theme, a fortress that has traded its sword for a corkscrew, proving that the deepest heritage of this land isn't one of war, but of cultivation. This story isn't just carved in stone, it's alive in the traditions passed down through generations. The methods used in these ancient cellars have shaped the wines of Spain. One example is a technique traditionally used in Rioja Alavesa, where whole grape clusters are fermented together. This creates a partial carbonic maceration, a process that naturally occurs when the grapes at the bottom are crushed by the weight of those on top, a method that predates the modern, more controlled version famous in regions like Beaujolais. This connection to wine culture explodes into life every year in the town of Haro. On June 29th, the feast day of St. Peter, the town hosts La Battaglia del Vino, the Battle of Wine. Its origins trace back to a centuries-old dispute over land boundaries, marked by an annual pilgrimage to the cliffs of Bilibio. Today, it's a joyous, chaotic celebration. Thousands of people dressed in white with red scarves climb a nearby hill and drench each other with thousands of litres of red wine. It's a spectacle of pure exuberance, where wine isn't just a drink to be savoured, but a symbol of community to be literally showered in. If you've enjoyed this journey through Spain's hidden history, and you believe travel is about uncovering these kinds of incredible stories, then be sure to subscribe. There are so many more secrets waiting to be uncorked. From the subterranean cellars of LaGuardia to the wine-soaked castle of Peñafiel, it's clear Spain's wine fortresses are more than just architecture. They're a testament to a culture that learned to protect its most precious creation by embedding it into the very foundations of its communities. The walls were built to keep enemies out, but the earth below was hollowed out to keep a way of life in. These aren't just relics. Winemakers are still aging their finest vintages in these cool, silent cellars. The festivals are still celebrated with the same passion, and the wine shaped by this unique history is still being poured. So the next time you see a Spanish castle on a hill, remember its greatest story might not be about the battles fought outside its walls. The real treasure may be flowing, quietly, in the darkness right beneath your feet. A history centuries in the making, waiting in every single glass. If you're putting together your Europe itinerary, check out my other video on Slovenia. Your first trip must include these 5 spots over here.